Graham Rawlins with our Wednesday edition of News Geelong. Miss Country Girl Australia is a community-based national model search specialising in only regional areas across Australia on the search for a Miss Universe Australia finalist for 2011. Reflections of the Soul is a new exhibition at the Geelong Gallery displaying Chinese contemporary ink wash painting in recognition of 2011 as the Year of Chinese Culture in Australia. And later in the program, we'll bring you the latest news from the pulsating world of Geelong sport as the Flying Hawk Nathan Curry is back in town from his sojourn up north, while sparkling Lani Salathil has flown off to the United Kingdom to gain further experience in the world of stage and screen. The scintillating Sophie Miller will update us with the Geelong and Surf Coast weather expected over the next 6 days. 2 significant water-saving projects will be funded in the 2011-12 City of Greater Geelong budget as part of the city's continuing sustainable water use plan. Debbie Meaney reports.
The City of Greater Geelong is taking significant steps in meeting the targets set in the Sustainable Water Use Plan. I caught up with Councillor John Dool here at Hume Reserve.
We've got 2 funded projects this year in the 2011-2012 Geelong budget. One's here at Hume Reserve and the other's at Eastern Gardens. Both are funded and both are in partnership with the Federal Government Water for the Future initiative.
Okay, and tell me, what kind of savings of water are we talking about here?
Look, between the 2 sites, it's around 50 million litres that will be saved. Again, it's hard to sort of think that, we need to save water, especially sort of in the last 12 months that we've had or so. But if people remember back to, prior, in drought conditions, that all of our reserves, and that was the reason why, the city in 2006 created the Water Task Force, was exactly, these reserves were starved of water. And I'll remind people too that the cost of water is always going up, so any initiative that we can take through their Water Task Force, such as these initiatives that we've got in this current budget, are worthwhile.
And what do those initiatives involve?
Well, look, again, in this situation, there's a wetlands proposed, pumping stations, pumps, etc. It's not just sort of around the playing field, but it's also about sort of supporting the trees, Indigenous species that will be planted at both sites. And plus also too, as we've seen with other initiatives around Cardinia Park and Grinta Reserve, that they create, for our community a better looking site as such. So again, it's all part of that picture of supporting communities in Geelong.
Yeah, so it's not only providing water for the playing fields, but also an environment for us to enjoy, wetlands, walking trails, that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's supporting community with the sporting needs, but also, just as you said, sort of, the environment looks so much better. We all love trees, and we hate seeing them sort of being in distress. So the fact that, the wetlands, all supporting, habitat as well, it's all win-win, win. So it's fantastic.
At Hume Reserve, this is Debbie Meaney for News Geelong.
Thank you, Debbie. The search for the 2011 Miss Country Girl is well underway as a Geelong finalist was selected over the weekend of Beauty and Personality. Lani Salathil reports.
We're down here at the 2011 Miss Country Girl final. We've had heats all week in Geelong, and tonight the finalists were announced. On my right here we have the beautiful Maddie, who was crowned the preliminary final winner tonight, and on my left we have Nicole, who is our junior finalist. Now Maddie, what sort of preparation did you have for tonight?
Not a lot, just got ready, came here and gave it a shot, and yeah, came out pretty well.
Yeah, it did come out very well indeed. And now it's obviously on to the Sydney national final for you. How are you feeling about that?
Pretty nervous, but I'm sure it'll be really fun.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yep. Now on my left here we have the beautiful Nicole, who is only, believe it or not, 13. Nicole, a great outcome for you tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all. I'm just really excited and really grateful.
Yeah, that's great. And are you obviously looking for a career in the modelling industry?
Yeah, hopefully when I'm a bit older and yeah.
And who do you sort of look up to and aspire to be?
Miranda Kerr.
Yeah, Miranda Kerr is everybody's favourite, isn't she? And we've also got our runner-up junior finalist and our runner-up preliminary finalist who will compete at the Sydney National Final if for some reason the finalists can't compete. And yeah, well done, girls. You've done so well and you look absolutely beautiful tonight.
Miss Country Girl Australia is the only rural and regional model search competition. We travel to rural areas of Australia, finding girls that are capable of international and national modelling contracts. We scout the girls, we look all around Australia, and then we bring them to Sydney in November where they compete at our national final. This is where our competition sponsors, Scoop Management, come out. They view the girls, they have a look, and they offer them opportunities that they normally wouldn't be offered.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously there's so many, like, especially with the young girls, there's so many opportunities that can come of, you know, just coming down here and walking down the catwalk. They may be scouted out for, you know, for something bigger and better and be signed on to someone, hopefully.
Definitely. Carly O'Donnell, our 2010 winner, entered because her best friend entered. Her best friend 13, she was only 14. She ended up taking out the national title. She was contracted by Chic Management, who represent Miranda Kerr and Abby Lee. So she's had a great opportunity and she entered for a little bit of fun in Bendigo.
It was a little bit sad to begin with. You know, I loved being Miss Country Girl Geelong, but I'm actually so excited. I mean, Maddie Griffin, absolutely stunning girl, and I feel that she's going to represent Geelong really well.
Yeah, and obviously, how was your experience last year? You went on to the Sydney National Finals. How was that for an experience?
I absolutely loved it. I couldn't have had a more positive experience with Miss Country Girl. From that, I got a wildcard entry into Miss Teen Australia and competed in that. It was back in Sydney 2 weeks after the national final for Miss Country Girl. So it was pretty hectic. And yeah, ever since that, I've been doing a lot of modelling jobs. I've gotten, because of Miss Country Girl, I was actually a grid girl at the 2011 Grand Prix, which was so exciting. Yeah, so I've got a lot of work from it and it's been such a good, positive experience.
Thank you, Lani. A Bowen Health clinical trial is investigating a new vaccine to prevent Ross River virus infection, as Debbie Meaney reports.
A Ross River virus trial is about to get underway here at Bowen Health, and I caught up with Alana Sarah to tell us about how volunteers can jump on board and what would be involved.
We're actually looking for up to 50 volunteers in the Geelong region to see if they'd like to come in and participate in a 12-month study. It's a vaccine study in preventing Ross River virus. For those of you who don't know, Ross River virus infection is it's a mosquito-borne disease, so it's transmitted by mosquitoes.
And is there any way of preventing that at all at the moment?
At the moment, no, there's no way. There's no existing vaccine. If you really want to prevent getting the disease, you actually need to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes. So that would just making sure that, you know, you're not out in the dusk, in the evening or first thing in the morning, and, you know, wearing all protective methods to avoid being bitten.
And what symptoms would somebody have if they had Ross River fever?
Look, the symptoms are quite variable. They can be quite vague, so things like flu-like symptoms, fever, chills, headaches, muscle and joint aches, but they also tend to be characterised by swelling of the joints, and the joints are noticeably stiff early in the mornings. Some people also develop a rash, which might resolve itself in about 7 to 10 days, but the ultimate impact is it can actually be quite debilitating.
And there's been an increase because of the flooding, is that right?
Yes, look, that is correct. There's about 7,800 cases annually in Australia. It's actually a little bit more prevalent in the northern regions of Queensland, but yes, it has increased in Victoria due to the recent floodings earlier this year.
At Bowen Health, this is Debbie Meaney for News Geelong.
Thank you, Debbie. This is News Geelong Wednesday edition as we go to a break and return with more news after this.